1997, that was the year Joshua Filler was born. And it's Filler to start us off.
Needs the purple 5 to move, and it hasn't. Just looking to see if we can see an edge of the ball to play a safety shot. Always looked like when it bounced off this side rail, there you see the cue ball and the purple ball rolling up together, and doesn't leave Josh a pot. So push out was called. Now, is Tony going to be tempted at playing the bank into the right centre, or is he going to play defensive? Keep it tight. I wouldn't blame him. Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. Beautiful reply there from Josh to get the hook. Tony Drago getting the jump to you. This is something you don't ever see. Mark this one down. Drago's going airball. Yeah, he's going to need a bit of luck. Isn't going to get it. You don't always get away with them type of shots. Just looking at where the balls are, the purple 5 ball to the green 6 is going to be the big shot in this rack.
So easy for Filler earlier today against Jörg Rosowski, his fellow German. Filler winning by 9 racks to 0. His opponent never really settled into the match. He had a few chances. Never looked as though he was comfortable enough to make much of them. Victory was really inevitable a long way before Filler ultimately achieved it.
Done well there, hasn't he? Really has to get the cue ball there. Made it look easy.
The way he's playing here, it looks as though he wants a speed contest with Drago, even for Filler. This is pacey. Referred to that shot a few moments ago that he made it look easy. I think that could apply to the way he's taken this rack in general. And Joshua Filler leads Tony Drago 1-0. Still no result from that hill finish between Dennis Graber and David Zalman. Jason Shaw's made it 2-0 now against Kalin Varbanov. 7-5 still for Yuri Pishklov against Fedor Gorst. Gorst is at the table in the next rack. Karol Skaversky has won the opener against Jaspal Singh Bamotra. Shane Van Boning back on the table, runner-up here last year. Level at 1-1 in the All-American clash with Mark Vidal Clarimont. Pius Labutus, who went so well at the Spanish Open, level at 2-2 against Estonia's Karl Naderberg. And Jonas Suto Camino leads 3-0 early on against Do Tae Kien. Mohamed Soufi, World Championship runner-up this year. Just 1 rack into his match against Noel Bensay of France, and Soufi has won it, just as Filler has taken the opener here. Another dry break from Filler. He only had one in his match earlier today.
Yeah, and the one ball went through the gap. That's a good little shot. 3 ball only went in his pocket. Look how quick Drago gets down on the shot. What age is Tony at now, Michael?
I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you guess.
61.
Oh, I won't be telling him you said that.
Oh, is that bad news?
Yeah, he's 57. He'll be 58 during the US Open next month. Not sure if he's planning to play in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I didn't say it because I thought he looked it. I just seem to remember, or thought I'd seen the 60th social media post at some point, but clearly not.
Well, it doesn't look like he's lost any of his speed over the years. Very quickly we find ourselves at 1-all. Yeah, he was ranked as high as number 10 in the world at snooker at one stage, Tony Drago. I remember he burst onto the scene in the mid-80s, turned pro as long ago as 1985. His first really big moment was beating Jimmy White, who was the defending champion in a big tournament, Rothman's Grand Prix. At the end of that season, he got to the World Snooker Championship quarter-finals. In the first 2 rounds, he beat Alex Higgins and Dennis Taylor, who were 2 of the last 4 players to have won the World Championship prior to that. And that was really, as it turned out, the only extended run he ever had in the World Championship. Never got further than the second round again. I mentioned that major ranking final he did get to in 1997, but he was up against Stephen Hendry, who was playing on home ground in Scotland and who was going through one of those phases where he was as close to unbeatable as you can get. Hendry duly beat him 9-1. So it's an exchange of dry breaks, and these are falling quite nicely for Filler.
Just got to find this little gap, but the cue ball's going to hit the 7. He wanted to miss that and play the red 3 into the right centre pocket. Positional shot's gone wrong here. Yeah, if he just misses the 7 ball, leaves the cue ball on that side rail. That's what he attempted. But the safety shot was there. But he will be sat there thinking, I should have cleared the table. Whenever your opponent gets back to the table, even though Tony's kicking, things can go against you.
Well, news from the other main table is that Fedor Gorst has won the 13th rack to get it back to 7-6 down against Yuri Pishklov. But you're sitting a bit closer to it there, Carl. Pishklov has ball in hand, is that correct?
Yeah, good chance to get himself on the hill here, but as we've seen in Fedor's previous match, that sort of unknown player, if you like, the underdog in the match, sometimes struggle to get over the line. So if you're not watching, well, there you go, you can watch now, because that's the situation. Fedor Gorst, Piskalov are in. Piskalov's got ball in hand. Probably before he plays his first shot, Phil might have won this rack, just deciding on what to do.
Yeah, no shot clock in the early rounds of this event. We will have it come the last 16.
Yeah, the thing with Nineball is it's not a slow game anyway. You know, even if you've got few safety shots to play. At some point, somebody's going to leave something or ball in hand, and you're going to attack the table. A lot of the time that is wasted is the player just stood there undecided, can't make his mind up on the shot.
Well, this has been fairly decisive. So far, this match has been played in much the style we'd anticipated. Joshua Filler leads for the second time at 2-1. Still no result to report from table 12. Dennis Grabber and David Zalman at deciding rack, going on for quite some time now. Jason Shaw going well, 3-0 up on Colleen Varbanov. British player Chris Alexander has a 4-2 lead over Dimitris Lukatos. Winner of that plays former world champion Niels Fyen in the next round. Shane Van Boning 2-1 ahead now of Mark Vidal Clarimont. And Jonas Suto Camino continuing his good start against Do Tae Kien of Vietnam. The Spanish player now leading 4-0. Mohamed Soufi 2-1 up on Noel Bensay of France. And it's also 2-1 in favour of Joshua Filler here on the main table. Dry last time. How will his break go in rack 4?
Oh, well, it's all going on here, Michael. He's made the cue ball, he's made the 9-ball. So the 9-ball will spot. Tony will get ball in hand. Cue ball anywhere he likes. Yeah, it's very rare that, where the cue ball actually pots the 9 and the cue ball went in the side pocket because of that. On table 2, Pisklov did not clear the table with ball in hand. He's played a very good safety, so he's still favourite to take the rack, but Fedor is kicking at the pink 4-ball. This cue ball needs to slow down for Drago, and it has.
There's been a theme of the day, and we're seeing it again over on table 2. I think it's been underdogs in good positions in matches, not able to kill them off.
Now can he go forward with a bit of spin and play the 6 down the long rail into this pocket? Yes, he can. Job well done. Still plays good, doesn't he, Tony? Gets straight down, aims, pulls the trigger. Sometimes that can cause mistakes, like so, because you're rushing, but that's the way he's always played.
Yeah, I know when he was at his peak years in snooker, people said if he just slowed down a little bit, he'd be a better player. He definitely wouldn't have been. Doesn't want to give himself any time to get inside his own head. A head which he's currently shaking in his chair.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed there. He knows he's got to stay with Filler. They're very similar type of players. They can blow opponents away in 25-30 minutes.
Drago's name was mentioned a lot during the World Championship earlier this year as Mohamed Soufi went on his run to the final. There were a lot of comparisons, and I think if you've seen Soufi you'll understand why, but just like in the world of snooker, there isn't and never has been anyone compared to the speed at which Drago plays. It's just a totally different level to anybody. Filler looking positively pedestrian by comparison, which takes some doing. But Drago had his chance to draw level there. Missed a routine ball. And so Filler has pounced for a 3-1 lead.
The pink 4-ball is still on the table on table 2. He always just played a safety shot, so Fedor's still in the rack. This was the poor miss from Drago. He will be kicking himself with that one. That one's got to hurt.
Yeah, watching it in slow motion I think takes away from the story a bit, because we saw how quickly he got down. It was just as you were commenting on how that costs him at times.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You know, I know that's his style of play and he's stuck to it. Fair play to him, but it doesn't matter who you are. Certain shots just require that little bit more time. Making the one ball regular is Josh. I know he's been working on the break shot. It seems to be paying off.
Dennis Graba, one of 5 Estonian players in the field, and the best known of them really. He's won that epic deciding rack against David Zalman. So Graba, a 9-8 winner, and will now play British veteran Imran Majid in the next round.
Said it a few times now, if you're not watching table 2, Gorst versus Piskalov. Piskalov's from Germany. He's local, he's beating Gorst 7 racks to 6. And it's all about the pink 4 ball at the minute. There's been numerous shots on that ball. Such a big rack, 8-6 up in a race to 9, all 7-7. I feel like he'll kick behind this. I think what's making him not do that is the fact that it's jacked up, so it means the cue ball playing with a bit of left spin would swerve a lot more. That was adventurous, Josh. That really was. That was very low percentage. Got a little fortunate. Could have left something a lot easier for Tony. Will he be tempted in the 2-8 combo? There's distance between balls, and the 8 ball's not close to the corner pocket, so that is very difficult. Well, Fedor Gorst has just played a wonderful shot on the 4 ball. He has a chance to tie that match up.
Filler finds himself in here with a chance to go 3 clear. We can have a look in. Fedor Gorst to pull off his second big turnaround of the day. We've not seen a huge amount of him, obviously, in the big matchroom events over the last 18 months or so. Travel issues to do with his nationality are quite obvious, but he's still been playing away in the States and playing very well on a consistent basis, so he comes here as one of the favourites.
Yeah, I mean, we know how good Fedor is, but there's obviously other players on the tour that have won these events, so they've broke the duck, if you like. They're used to winning. You know, Albin Ocean, Joshua Filler, SVB, they've had success getting to finals. Fedor's not done that yet, so he's still got to overcome that, and he knows that. He wants to win one of these events, or certainly have a real deep run.
Yeah, he was world champion, of course, a few years ago, but that was before it was one of these matchroom events. It was a very different thing at that time.
But he certainly showed his class in rack 14. Played the attacking shot on the bank on the 4 ball, went in the heart of the pocket. It'll be this 9 ball to tie the match up. Filler's running away with this one on table 1.
Yeah, that's gone 4-1. Yuri Piskalov was running away with his match not so long ago, but all the effort that went into building that substantial lead has been wiped away now. Gorst, a massive favourite to get through that one. Joshua Filler, ranked number 3 in the world. He's been in a couple of finals of these big matchroom events this year. At the UK Open, there wasn't a great deal he could do against Eklund Kachi, who played so well in that final at the Copper Box. And then just a few weeks ago, he was in the World Cup final with Moritz Neuhausen representing Germany. Philippines were cruising at one stage. The Germans did make a bit of a fight of it, but there was too much ground to make up. So, the last 4 times that Filler has broken, he's only found himself staying at the table once. Talked earlier about Drago's snooker career, but he's well established in pool as well. Took to it very quickly, winner of the World Masters 20 years ago this year. Twice been on the winning team in the Mosconi Cup. Both of them very special. Once he was MVP. Europe won in the States for the first time back in 07, and the following year in his home country of Malta. I mentioned that one major ranking final he got to. He was also in another very big final, not a ranking tournament, the World Masters Snooker in Birmingham in 1991. First snooker tournament ever to have a £200,000 winner's cheque. Jimmy White just beat him to it.
Play this a couple of rails, play for the 9 in the centre pocket. Big area to land the cue ball in.
He misses some straightforward balls, but at times he makes snooker and pool look so easy, Tony Drago. That was one example. Scratch off the break from Filler. Drago did the rest. It's 4-2, and he's characteristically keen to get on with it. Jason Shaw in cruise control now, 5-0 up on Colleen Varbanov. So it seems heading for a mouth-watering clash with Johan Chua. Chris Alexander, British player, 5-2 up on Dimitris Lukatos. Shane Van Boning not having things all his own way by any means against Mark Vidal Clarimont. Van Boning is leading, but it's only 3-2. Karl Nadeberg is 4-2 up on Pius Labutis of Lithuania. And Spain's Jonas Suto Camino now holds a 5-0 advantage against Do Tae Kien. Drago still in it, 4-2. Did you ever play against Drago?
Yeah, quite a few times, yeah.
Any standout matches?
Do you know what, Michael? I have a real bad memory with a lot of the matches I've played. Even the matches I've done well in, I don't really remember them. But we've played a good few times, yeah.
What's it like playing someone who can just win a rack as quickly as that? And it's just so different to anyone else. Does it affect your thinking in any way?
No, I think when you think of Tony Drago, you have seen mistakes because of the speed he plays. I've also seen him play lights out, you know, obviously. So you go into the match just thinking, well, you don't really know which Drago's going to show up.
Well, even for him, that was a fast rack. The 3-9 combination clinches it. So, no time at all. He's got back to only one behind. It's 4-3. I think when we saw these two were going to be playing each other, Carl, we said, well, that's not going to take long, whatever happens. From my point of view, it's actually been even faster than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's very easy on the eye.
Drago was involved in one of the most extraordinary events I've ever seen in Q Sports. He was playing a qualifying match against Alan McManus of Scotland some years ago. conceded in the deciding frame when he still had a bit of a chance, then realised what he had done, tried to withdraw the concession, which you can't really do, and after shaking hands with McManus, Drago slapped himself in the head. All of this in front of the cameras. I'm not talking a gentle tap, it was a full-on whack against his head.
Yeah, I'm sure that clip is on YouTube, Michael. I remember seeing it when it happened. It was extraordinary, really.
Talked about Filler being in those two Matchroom finals this year. Hasn't done so well in the other Matchroom events. Wasn't able to play in the Premier League for travel reasons. Went out last 64 of the World Championship. First round of the World Masters where he was defending. And last 32 of the Spanish Open against Emil Andre Gangflo a few weeks ago. He's won a couple of Euro Tour events this year. Filler. But he hasn't potted that, and well, this could be a chance for Drago. He was 4-1 down, seemingly just a few moments ago, to draw level.
Yeah, you could see there how quick Drago plays. Joshua still walking to the chair when he potted the 3-ball. A lot of the players would just wait until he sat down just to get out the way. Not prime position this though, is it? He's got to travel 2 rails. It's okay. I say it's okay, it needs to run still. Yeah, it's okay, you can check this ball in.
We are seeing Tony Drago in full flow here. Joshua Filler knows he's in a contest. It was 4-1, now they're level. Shane Van Boning now 4-2 up against Marc Vidal Claremont. Do Tae Kien has averted the whitewash by winning rack 6 against Honasuto Camino. Noel Bensay of France has just levelled at 3-all. With World Championship runner-up Mohamed Soufi. 2 rising German names, Tobias Bongers and Fitim Haradinaj. Meeting on table 12, Haradinaj has won the first rack in that. Fedor Gorst is now on the hill, leading 8-7 against Yuri Pishklov. And Kalin Varbanov has managed to get a rack on the board, but 5-1 down against Jason Shaw. Breaking has not been Drago's friend today. It's 3 dry from 4 attempts. Over on table 2, it looks as though Fedor Gorst could be moments away from completing his second big turnaround of the day. And we joined that against Yuri Pishklov. Looking in before this one started, he was 7-3 down. He hasn't lost a rack since. He's now just 2 balls away from completing a 9-7 win.
Yeah, this is what Fedor is faced with. He's grinded away today. This has been phenomenal stuff. It's easy winning matches when everything's going your way, but when you're down in matches against good, solid, quality opponents, he has done well. And once he slots this 9-hole, he will be delighted. His dinner will taste good tonight.
Job done for Fedor Gorst then. He's through to winners qualification round. And there he will face Radoslav Babika of Poland.
There's a little gap here for Tony. It's going to be a safety shot though. I think he's playing off the bottom side if it's slow. Trying to use the 2-ball or the 6. Yep, top of the table from Josh.
There is still one more match to come today on table 2. That will be James Oranis against Mickey Kraus in a few minutes. Oranis having such a good time of it over the last few months at the World Masters and even more so the World Cup.
Look at this for a cheeky effort. It was very thin.
Q Sports, such a big part of the cultural scene in Malta. I've been out there at a big snooker event and it's just so popular there. The problem that always holds it back is just how small it is. Even now the population's only about 500,000. It's a very densely populated place, but still doesn't add up to a huge amount.
Do this ball keep travelling? That's okay.
A big story potentially developing here. Drago a few balls away from leading for the first time in the match.
Yeah, Josh 4-1 up. Kind of handed it back to Tony. A couple of chances have gone awry. And Drago smells blood.
Four racks in a row. Tony Drago now leads Joshua Filler, the world number 3, by 5 racks to 4. Both of these players have their names firmly written in Mosconi Cup history. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz has written his name into the European team. He's been confirmed as the first automatic qualifier for the side which will defend the trophy at Alexandra Palace in North London in December. We've been hearing what he has to say about that achievement.
Francisco, firstly, congratulations. You're the first player confirmed for Team Europe at the Mosconi Cup in December. Tell us just how you're feeling.
Yeah, I feel unbelievable. I mean, last year I had my dream, to play at least one time Mosconi. It was my best experience in my life. So I worked so hard this year to make the team, so I'm really happy. So I can't wait for December.
It will be your first time heading to Alexandra Palace in London. You told me earlier that you've never even been as a fan. What have the players told you about what to expect heading into London?
Yeah, everyone I asked, like David, Alvin, how is the experience in London? They say it's unbelievable. The crowd is going to be crazy. I never been there, but now like a player, I'm going to be there, so I'm going to enjoy every single moment there.
And playing in front of that many friends and family, but also a lot more European fans this year. Do you feel like there'll be a bit more pressure this year?
Yeah, I mean, the pressure is going to be different. Last year, I remember the first shot I played in the teams match, I scratched. So I can feel the pressure, But this year is going to be different, but I think I enjoy every single moment there. So.
And we know that the USA are going to come back stronger than ever this year. What would it mean for you to win a second consecutive Mosconi Cup title against them?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I mean, last year, at the paper we were favorite, but last year we can feel how they play, In front, Skyler play unbelievable, all the team. But, I think Europe is going to be a tough team. We have to work together like last year, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, part of the winning team on his debut in Las Vegas last year. First place on the European team to be confirmed at the end of this tournament, but he's got such a big lead, largely because of those World Championship winning points, that he can't be caught. The first American place will be confirmed later in the week. Skylar Woodward in pole position for that at the moment. Shane Van Boening can overtake him, although the only way SVB can guarantee doing that is to win the tournament. So we'll keep an eye on that during the week. Meanwhile, back here, Tony Drago looked as though he was heading for a 2-rack lead. And then, as we got back just in time to see, he missed that 6. So this 10th rack now back in the balance.
This little bounce off the back rail will help as well. Maybe you can just see the left edge. Yeah, watching that VT there, it's hard to believe. When I look back, I played in the 20th anniversary. That's flown by 10 years. What a shot there from Fulda. That was the mistake of Drago. Didn't quite get the safety shot right. Now he finds himself in a world of trouble. Ball in hand. Just the 4 balls remain to tie this match up. We always anticipated this was going to be a cracker. And it has not took long. These opening 10 racks.
Yeah, not for the first time in this match. A missed 6. Cost Drago big time. Fulda back level at 5-all. Colleen Varbanov has now won 2 in a row, but Jason Shaw still firmly in control there at the moment. 5-2 in that one. Chris Alexander now just 1 ahead of Dimitris Lukatos at 5-4. Karol Skowerski of Poland pulling away a bit now, 4-2 in front against Jaspal Singh Bamotra. Shane Van Boning also establishing a bit of daylight, 5-2 up on Mark Vidal Clarimont. Carl Nadeberg has a 6-3 lead over Piers Labutis, and Honasuto Camino has won rack 7 to lead 6-1 over Dote Kien. Fitim Haradinaj 2-0 up in the all-German clash with Tobias Bongers, and Mohamed Soufi of Syria has a 5-3 lead over Noel Bensay. 5-all here.
Can he play the cross bank shot? No, he's using the red 3 ball as a blocker. And he has done well there, hasn't he? He's cut all that out, and going off the side rail near the 9, I don't think Tony can get below the 2 ball to kick with some distance. Even going over to the left side, he may have to play this hard. Kind of draw the cue ball off, otherwise he's going to miss it. It's okay. Well, look at this. Look at this. That is very favourable indeed. Never imagined the cue ball's going to finish there.
You said a little while ago Fulda is running away with this here, and at the time it was a fair comment because it looked to be heading that way. Certainly for the first time today in either of his matches, he's under a bit of pressure. Perhaps even more so now. Well, this is genuinely vintage stuff. He's been around the Q Sports scene at a high level since the 1980s. He's been established in the pro world for a couple of decades now. And throughout that time, this is what we've come to associate Drago with. Playing so quickly, playing on instinct, and at the moment, playing very nicely. Leading once again against Joshua Filler at 6-5. Mark Vidal Claremont has got one back against Shane Van Boening. 5-3 now to the 5-time US Open champion. He'll be bidding for the record 6th in Atlantic City next month. Carl Naderberg and Honasuto Camino both now on 7. Naderberg 7-3 against Pius Labutus. It'll be a really good result if he can finish it, given the recent form of Labutus. And Camino with a 7-1 lead against Do Tae Kien. Jason Shaw, after losing a couple of racks in a row, has taken the 8th to go 6-2 up against Kalin Varbanov. Winner of that plays Johan Chua in winner's qualification. Just getting underway over on table 2, last match of the day there. James Aranis of the Philippines against Danish player Mickey Kraus.
Done well, Tony, here to stay in this match. Yeah, Joshua's helped him a little bit, but other than missing the 6th ball, he's played well, hasn't he? Break has eluded him now. This is awkward though. Key ball's tight on the rail. One ball doesn't pass the 6. So there's no real pot available. Whenever you're playing safe, you're trying to get the 1 ball safe as well. He wants to try and bounce the 1 ball somewhere so it lands kind of in a centre of a rail type place, and then just roll the cue ball behind another ball. So the fact that it's taking this much time, there's no obvious natural shot.
Just one result we haven't had a chance to give you. Torsten Homan, playing in his hometown, 2-time world champion, beaten So Shaw 9-0. Go through to winner's qualification. We'll see him again in a couple of days' time. The other matches in that section not played yet, so it'll be a while before he knows who he's going to face.
He just hasn't got a clue what shot to play, has he? He can play the push, which that would be unusual. He's chipping the 1 ball over to the right rail near the 6. And he's not got the hook. He was just, he just knew there wasn't an obvious shot on. Tony's wasted no time here. And that's okay. Fuller will probably get the jump stick, just jump over the edge of the 5, try and make the 1 in the top left corner, where the brown 7 ball is. If he does, the cue ball should come off the right hand side rail and stay around the middle of the table for a shot on the 2. This is not easy. We don't see many jump shots like this made anymore since we've moved to the 4-inch pocket. And overall, it was quite a poor effort. Cue ball behind the red 3.
Drago looking to beat German opposition for the second time today. As Michael Thorne he beat in the first round, 9-3. This, though, would be an infinitely bigger scalp.
Looks a little high, always did. I suppose that's got to be chalked down as a mistake. It was an opportunity. I think the 2 ball does pass the purple 5. He's got to get on it, mind. Looks a little pacey to me, and it is. Always a big match this, because the winner goes into winners qualification round, which means you're going to get 2 bites at the cherry. Lovely safety shot here though. Yeah, it means if you lose that winners qualification round, you go straight into the losers qualification final round. Sounds very complicated, but it's not. Basically 256 players and playing down to 64. Once we get 64 players, 32 players will have been undefeated, 32 players with 1 loss. And there's a redraw, the winners play the losers.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If you don't go through from the winner's side, you lose your seeding. And as a result, we often see, particularly nowadays, a couple of big names playing each other as early as the last 64. Players who have come here fancying a run to something like the semis or quarters.
That was a poor shot. Could have put the cue ball wherever he wanted to move the 4 out. Should make this jump shot. It's close enough to the middle pocket. Yeah, he'll have to jump it a little bit, but he's lost the cue ball. He needs this to keep rolling so he can pot it in the left centre. It could have been worse, that, because he was playing for the pink 4 in the right centre. Completely lost the cue ball here.
Drago down quickly, and that shot hasn't turned out the way he wanted. It would be a huge surprise if this match wasn't tied up again in a few moments. Some of the other big stories that have developed throughout the day have been on the outside tables. We've seen crowds of people standing around them. This is perhaps the biggest story going on in the arena right now, and People are starting to gather around this table. And having been level at 4-all and 5-all, these two are back all square once more, 6 each. It has perhaps been the most entertaining match of the entire first day here in Fulda. James Oranis has won the opening rack against Mickey Kraus. Colleen Varbanov has now won 3 of the last 4 from 5-0 down against Jason Shaw. Now back to 6-3. Dimitris Loukatos now in front against Chris Alexander at 6-5. Karol Skowersky has got to 6-2 over Jaspal Singh Bamotra. Mark Vidal Claremont really making it difficult for Shane Van Boning. He's only one behind against SVB at 5-4. And Carl Nadeberg has won 9-3 against Pius Labutus. Even more comfortable for Jonas Suto Camino of Spain, 9-1 over Vietnam's Do Tay Kien.
Yeah, the thing with this match is though, Michael, I know it's 6-6. It's now effectively a race to 3, but Phil is definitely a better breaker. He's making the one ball more often. He's going to make the one ball more often than Tony, which means he's going to get first shot to the table. At the moment, he can't get an open look at the lowest ball to run the table. What a safety shot he's played there. The fact that he's got the cue ball touching the pink 4 cuts out a load of escapes for Tony. 2-3 rails. Here comes the cue ball. Just missed it on the left side. The safety shot again has paid off. Safety in Nineball. It's a huge part of the game, it really is.
Ball in hand was ultimately decisive in the previous rack. Bit more work to do this time. Phil will really fancy his chances of producing a similar outcome. Hasn't been ahead since it was 4-3. He has extracted full price from ball in hand. Joshua Filler gets his nose in front again. It's 7-6. Whatever happens now, Drago has shown that he's still a handful for any potential opponent. Hasn't played many tournaments since he got back on the scene last year. If he did start playing a bit more regularly, I was to say Drago wouldn't be able to go on very deep runs in big tournaments again. One thing's for certain, no one's going to want to face him here this week. We'll go to the one-loss side if he is beaten here, but still every chance of producing a different outcome. Mohamed Soufi is closing in on victory, 7-3 now against Noel Ben Say. Tobias Bongers and Fitim Haradinaj, 2 Germans, are level at 2-all. Shane Van Boning won the 10th rack, and he needed it. Gives him a little bit of breathing space at 6-4 against Mark Vidal Claremont. Karol Skowersky looking for a couple more, 7-2 up now against Jaspal Singh Bamotra. Joshua Filler also looking for 2 more, but much closer in this one, at 7-6.
Yeah, there you see the one ball again on the break. Well, he's made a few balls here, 3 balls I believe. Well, this is okay. He's got a little bit of a tester here, but it will go in that centre pocket, and the pink 4 is the next ball, so it's all about making sure you pop this ball. I don't know if it's a big pocket for the bank. He's played the pot. Oh, here we go. This is nice. Cue ball needs to keep travelling because he's going to come down for the 6-8 combination. Well, what has he done here? What has he done here? Pure adrenaline. Just got into the cue ball. Look at this one again. Incredible. Is he going to have a go at the bank? He is. He's going to rip the cue ball around as well. Cue ball needs to keep travelling, otherwise he's going to have a 50-yard line pot. It's not ideal, but boy, will he have been delighted to see that 7-ball go in. This to get on the hill.
Well, the 7th rack was probably the shortest of the match, the one that Drago won with the 3-9 combination. That rivaled it though. Fulda making 3 balls off the break. And 1 or 2 little hiccups after that, but managed to get the job done. So Joshua Fulda, 2 clear now for the first time since he led 4-2. Normally we'd say that seems like a long time ago. It certainly doesn't in this match. It's been every bit as fast and furious and entertaining as we had hoped. And we saw the 2 of them lining up against each other. It's a match that Joshua Fulda is now 1 rack away from taking. Mohamed Soufi on the hill now, 8-3 against Noel Bensay.
Well, if he can keep breaking like this, he could go real deep here this week. 5-ball, the purple 5 has landed in probably the worst spot on a pool table. Now I don't know if he can play the bank and maybe clip it in off the 5. Is that even available? Well, that's what he's played. He's missed it by a mile. And I think, well, I'm not going to call it. Too difficult to tell from there if Tony can pop the ball or not.
If he can, it's just the sort of thing which could spark. One last surge to turn this around. Well, it wasn't on. Just keeping an eye on that Jason Shaw match. He was 5-0 up against Kalin Varbanov. The Bulgarian player has won 4 racks out of 5 since then and is close to 6-4.
One good safety shot, that's what Josh will be thinking. 8-6 in a game of 9-ball. Well, it's as good as saying it's hill. It really is. So he's got to get this one right. Could play off the right edge, chip it towards the 8 and get the cue ball back near the 3. Also, is he trying to get the cue ball towards the 8? That's what he is. Here comes the spin. Always knowing that he's got that 8-ball there. He's done well, good shot. For the second time in this match, Tony Drago Let's take the jump cue out of the case. Well, there's a chance for the match.
Yeah, he could be putting that and all his equipment back in the case in a few moments. If Fulda does get through here, then Karol Skaversky, like him, is a former World Masters winner. Looks the most likely opponent in winners' qualification. Skaversky 7-3 up against Jaspal Singh Bhamotra. Shane Van Boning has gone 3 clear now against Mark Vidal Clarimont. 7-4. James Aranis also 3 clear, but at a significantly earlier stage of the match. 3-0 he leads Mickey Kraus over on table 2.
Well, he's landed a little bit weird there on this ball. He looked at playing the purple 5 in the right centre, thin, and going 2 rails. It's hard for him to stun this ball in because the middle pocket's there. And if he draws the ball straight back, he would probably scratch. He's got to manufacture something here. Kind of stun draw it past the middle like this. Good shot. Great shot. Surely Joshua Fulda is going to win the match from here.
Yeah, I think what we can take away from it, from Tony Drago's point of view, is that if he can keep turning up to tournaments on a regular basis and playing like this, he can become a big factor on the scene once again. Of course, he's still going to be involved in this tournament, but it's going to be on the loser's side now. He was threatening a big win when it was 6-5. But Joshua Fulda has won 4 in a row.